A false prophet to me is someone who presents himself as such, being a person of high standards and character, but are not. And I guess you could call this a wolf in sheep clothing type thing, but I like calling them false prophet. And I heard an amazing quote that kind of will summarize my whole talk today, and I thought it was fantastic. And it says, be careful who you trust, because even salt looks like sugar. Oh, that is such an amazing quote. It's on the top for me. And this was, I have to say, one of the hardest lessons, and I think I was a very slow learner in this area, because the first hard lesson that I had to learn is how naive and gullible I was. I thought that everyone, would treat me how I would treat them. And I slowly started to see how, words and actions were not aligned, and seeing that kind of, I would say, the ugliness of that person. And the second hardest lesson that I had to learn is that that I didn't trust myself as much as I thought I did. And then I gave people benefit of the doubt. So when I kind of was working on a project or working with people, my intuition would be like, Carol, don't do this, don't pursue this. And, I'm like, oh, I'll just kind of give a benefit of the doubt. And sure enough, after time unfolds, how I envision it to be, of my intuition telling me that's exactly how it turned out. And so I was like, oh, fuck. And the third thing I had to learn about dealing in these situations is how timid I was. I stayed in situations longer than I should have. And so I had to be able to learn a lot of things. And I mean, when you're kind of dealing with these types of people, like the reason why it took me a long time, because I trust easily. And when you kind of operate with your heart, you bypass and turn a blind eye to a lot of things. But as hard as it was, I also learned a lot. So from being naive and gullible, that gave me the ability to develop my discernment skills. And with giving people benefit of doubt and not listening to myself, that gave me the ability to learn to trust myself more and to listen to my intuition. And I learned from being timid is my ability to be courageous and kind of walk away from situations now that no longer serve me and that are not in alignment. And the thing is, with all these situations, I kind of look at how I played a part in it, and areas where I was wrong, because definitely there's a lot of things I was wrong in, and then also how I stepped out of character and deviated from who I was. So those kind of things were really a hard pill to swallow. However, now when I kind of looking back at those situations, I kind of to be honest, I didn't really like myself and who I was in those environments. So as hard as those things are to kind of deal with people, because before I used to kind of value people in high positions and who are well educated and held powerful positions, because sometimes, like in myself, I kind of assumed that the character would be aligned with those kind of positions, but I was sadly mistaken. So yes, I was a slow learner, but now I've gotten better and I'm more cautious, and I definitely watch out for situations where the salt seems to be like sugar.